we talk about stress, I'm sure there are a lot of questions that you will be going through, like, how is the situation going to get better? What is going to happen tomorrow? What about my job? Now, for all of you who are asking yourself these questions, I just want to tell you that you're not alone. Everyone is in some form or the other thinking about exactly these questions. Before we tackle these questions, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Ikigai. Now, Ikigai is a Japanese word. It's a Japanese word basically talking about a reason for living or a reason for being. It basically tells us the purpose in life and what makes our life so worthwhile. The first one is, who am I? Now, before you tell me, Seetha, you don't have to ask me who am I. I know who I am. Before you give me that answer, I'd just like you to think for a moment. Exactly what do you consider yourself to be? Who are you? It can be any answer that you wish to give. Of course, these 3 questions need to be answered after the session. So number 1, who am I? Number 2, what do I consider success to be? All right? And number 3, why do I get up in the morning? Write down 5 things that you're happy about. And the second thing would be to write about something that you're not happy about. And I also want you to reflect and then write about how that has helped you. Let me give you an example. There was a time when I had a great friend and we had a lovely friendship. And for very, very strange reasons that is even unknown today, I have not heard from her for a very long time. Despite efforts in getting in touch with her, I haven't been able to. So initially it used to really bother me a lot, made me wonder what happened, what could have I done wrong to upset her. But despite repeated attempts, I have not been able to reach her. But it has also taught me a very valuable lesson. Not the fact that I care for her less. No, I still care for her a lot. Probably the same extent as I did before maybe she has stopped speaking to me. But my expectation level as far as people are concerned have come down. So many a time, situations or incidents that make us upset, they teach us something which we may not have learned had we not undergone that situation. Limit the bad news intake. Now, we're all flooded by social media, by newspapers. All around us, we are getting information about the crisis that's happening here. However, limit the intake of the news because it's not going to be helpful. What we can do is do something what we can do for others. Make sure we know about the status, know about the news, what is happening, and that's about it. We don't need to keep listening to the news, the negative news, which is coming from all sources. Because other than probably disabling us to think more clearly and more rationally and more calmly, it's not going to be of help. So limit the news intake, the bad news intake as much as possible. And that includes also probably negative talk like gossiping or any kind of negativities which we know will not be helping us. So stay clear of that. And that includes even staying clear of such toxic relationships too. Look after yourself. Looking after yourself is something which a lot of people forget because they are so busy taking care of others. And I have noticed this especially in the case of women, because women with their maternal feelings, they're constantly trying to make those around them, especially their loved ones, feel comfortable, feel good and feel loved. But what about you? Do you love yourself? Do you love yourself as much as you love others? That's a question I want you to ask yourself. Because if you do not, it's time that you started. Because unless you start taking care of yourself, like I mentioned earlier, you love yourself as much as you love others, you cannot expect either to take care of them well, and perhaps more importantly, expect others to treat you with respect and dignity. So that is something else which is important when it comes to looking after yourself. Support others, like I said. It's great to reach out to people because you'll be surprised with how much you can support others. Supporting others need not come just by offering any financial help. No, there is so much more that we can do to make others feel better and help others. So support others. And like I said about guarding against negative behavior, which is very important, staying positive, and also realizing that we are not able to change the situation other than by changing ourselves. So the first change needs to come from us or from you and me. So these are things that we need to focus on when it comes to life management and when it comes to positive thinking during crisis. Apology. Yes, you heard it right. It's apology. Why is apology important? Like I said, one of the areas that could bother us also in times of crisis is when we have to convey an apology to someone that we owe, but we haven't done that yet. Have you hurt someone either knowingly or unknowingly, and you wish to convey the apology, but have you held yourself back out of fear of what that person would tell you? Well, if you have, this is the time to go ahead and convey that apology and make it sincere and make it totally as open and relevant to the person and the relationship you have with the person, because that also will make you feel a lot more stronger and a lot more capable to handle crisis and look forward to your future better. Those of you who would like to have the support of friends, because there are people who handle crisis differently. Some people are quite comfortable about giving themselves positive affirmations and giving themselves positive self-talk, whereas some are not. They need to speak to another human being so that they can share what they are going through, and they have someone visible in front of them who would give them that sympathetic shoulder. So whatever works for you, I think we need to take care of that. And this is also one way you're able to support others. Because if supposing you know someone who probably is scared of feeling judged and doesn't want to talk about it to their own friends, you could just call them up and just ask them. If you doubt, you can always ask them, would you like to talk about something? You seem to be worried. I have done that. And there are times when people say, no, Seetha, there's nothing at all. And I say, oh, all right. I just thought you probably needed to have a talk. I just want to let you know that if you want to share something, you can share it with me. I would not judge you. So you don't have to be a friend to reach out. You can just be a well-wisher. You can just be someone who's there for someone and without any expectations in your mind.
The first question especially, I could not understand the context, or first of all, how do I start and approach these questions, and then what do I do with, how do I reflect more upon these, or
Sure. Many a time we all grow up because we are told by our parents that this is who you are, this is the culture you belong to, this is the religion that you belong to. So in other words, sometimes people don't realize what or who they are. For example, if you are going to look at yourself not based on what your parents have told you, not based on the name you have got. For example, imagine yourself as not being Radhika, not being an Indian, not being a Hindu, not coming from the culture you come from, not having the language you have. And now if you ask yourself, who am I? Your answer would be different. Let me give you an example. Suppose someone asks me, who am I? I would give the answer as that I am a human, grateful to be alive, grateful to be existing in this world, grateful for the opportunity to help out others in my own way, grateful for the loving family and people I know. And I also believe I can make a difference in this world, even if it's in the life of one person. So that is the answer that I would think of if suppose someone says, who are you? I'm not going to say, I'm Seetha, or I'm the daughter of so-and-so, or the wife of so-and-so, or the mother of so-and-so. No, who am I? I would also just like to mention to you here, this is a very good quote from by Viktor Frankl. He has said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. So please keep in mind that, because all of you are a lot more stronger and more powerful than what you realize today. Wishing each of you the best, always. And do keep in touch. All the best.